Hi everyone, my name is Bo Terry Nan and you are listening to Buddhism Bits. This is our episode number 32 and it is on the life of the Gautama Buddha or the latest Buddha biography. Well, I've said earlier in our episode number 1 that there are countless Buddhas according to Buddhism because there are cycles of rebirth, and Buddha was no creator God. He was merely a teacher of means to enlightenment. So he was just one of the Buddhas according to Buddhism. But when people say Buddha, they normally refer to the latest one, who was born in India around 2,500 years ago, and he was born as Siddhartha Prince, and he passed away when he was 80 years old. So today I'm going to be talking about some important happenings in his life, what took place that turned him from Siddhartha Prince into Gautama Buddha. Well, when he was very young, his father, who was a king at that time, had fortune tellers coming into the palace and sort of predict his future. And there were two possible options for Siddhartha. One was he would eventually turn into a great king, or the great emperor. And the second option would be he would turn into a spiritual teacher. And as a king, he didn't want his son to be a spiritual teacher. He would rather have a great emperor as a son. And that is why he was very afraid that Siddhartha would turn into the spiritual way. He therefore built 3-season palace. Essentially Siddhartha would have one palace for one season, and then when the next season come, he would move into another palace that is more convenient, more comfortable for him during that season, so that he would enjoy all the objects or all the worldly things that he forget about the spiritual aspect of his life. But one day when he was walking around in a park, he saw 4 types of people that were not available for him to see in the palace. And the 4 were: first, the old. He'd never seen any old person in his life before. Second was the ill. Some very ill person was laying around while he was walking in the park. And third was the dead. He's never seen a dead person before as a prince. And last but not least, he saw a monk. And that monk appeared very peaceful, very calm, serene to him. And at that point of time, he started to grow a seed of the eager to become monk, to quit the worldly side of his life as a prince. He grew the seed of that want at that time. But still, he continued on with his prince life and got married. And one of the most important day of his life was actually on the birthday of his son. And on that date, he felt a very strong bonding, sort of like a shackles, because such bonding between father and son was so strong, and he didn't want to be shackled until his death. So he decided on that day to be free from shackles. So he escaped from the palace, and that is the day of his ordination. He went across the river and cut his hair with the sword. That is when he turned on the first day into a monk. And after that was his journey onto how to really escape from not just the palace, but rather the cycle of sufferings, the cycle of rebirth. He went through so many extremes in order to find the correct path to enlightenment. And I'll talk about that more on the next episode on the life of the Gautama Buddha. And that's about it for this episode on life of Gautama Buddha. If you were to have any questions, queries, comments, or any suggested topics for me to talk about, feel free to reach me at BuddhismBits@gmail.com. It's BuddhismBits@gmail.com. Ehi Patsiko, come and see you soon.